Yo, fellow YouTubers. It's been quite a while. Around a month. As expected. The hiatus is over, as I've stated in that particular video. And now I will be showing off the Game Boy Advance version of Yoshi's Island, because it has 6 bonus stages. 6 secret ones that you unlock by, as you might have guessed, 100%ing every other stage before then. That is one negative thing about this SNES version, is that you don't really unlock anything outside of being able to admit that you've 100%ed, that you've perfected that game. You don't get anything except the reward of just a 100% file, but in this port, you actually unlock 6 difficult, lengthy levels. Are they fun ones? I don't find them as enjoyable as most of the other levels in this game, but once you understand these levels well enough, once you've played them enough, they're fairly fun to go through. But let me tell you that these ones are quite a challenge indeed, and they're pretty lengthy too. Most of these are lengthy to a point where one level will take up an entire video. That was definitely not the case for the vast majority of the levels for the rest of the game. Besides 6 extra levels, there are a few minor differences, like the voice clips from Yoshi's Island being carried over to this port, the audio quality not being as good. Still fantastic for a GBA though, and it's not as colorful, but still undeniably pushing the limits of Game Boy Advance. Still a very nice looking game for being on a 32-bit handheld. Thankfully, Nintendo didn't make use of all the buttons in the SNES version, so you're able to make use of the 6 you have on the Game Boy Advance. So in this particular level, it is a rather intense one. You're on those red platforms a lot. It's, to say the least, challenging. Isn't saying a lot. It is still... You're still probably going to die a few times, even if you've 100% the SNES version. I must say, it's a pain, a little off topic, a pain to pick up those item clouds, I forgot what they're called, as you're rolling on those things. So, yeah, I've stated that I was looking for a job in that update video, and truth be told, I still haven't found employment anywhere. I mean, I've received a few interviews. Like, I received one at Target, I've received one at Steak and Shake, I've received one at Wendy's. As you might tell, I'm like aiming for either a retail store or a restaurant. Those are jobs that I believe would suit me more than pretty much anything else. And I don't expect to make a lot of income from them, but right now I don't have a job, so even anything that you only get minimum wage for would still be better than nothing, obviously. And I am moved back with my parents. I would not be able to last more than a few months on my own, being unemployed as stated before. the movie went pretty well. Not really a lot to explain about it. Just only needed assistance a few times from the largest items I owned back in the apartment. Bit by bit have I taken my stuff to my parents. Not much really interesting to explain there. And I also stated that I wasn't entirely sure what I would be doing next as I was moving out, but not long before I moved back in, I've decided that I'll show off the Game Events extras for not only this game, but the Final Fantasy remake. I mean, I've considered it for a while to show off the 4 extra dungeons in Final Fantasy remake. Wasn't even in the PlayStation port. Truth be told, I've never completed any of them. So I decided to take advantage of that. While they're not complete, I'll use that file that I still have yet to complete on them and show it off there. I'm probably gonna show off those extras after showing off these extras. So many opportunities for instant death here. Oh yes, one thing I'd like to mention, one difference I made, which, yeah, that sucked. This is post-commentary, by the way, is that a lot of people were annoyed by Baby Mario's crying and whatnot. They made his tear-shedding far less annoying around. I mean, it's still somewhat annoying. I mean, just to a point where it's alerting that, oh, you have to get him back before the toadies get him, but not annoying enough that it'll make you want to cover your ears. Baby Mario is more quiet this time around. And yeah. Though I haven't heard anyone else state that they prefer Baby Mario's crying here, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the majority of the consumers' opinions. It's from the stage, you're in a castle for the most part. Lots of instant deaths. Those baseball enemies. Like the rest, this one is a hard level to get through. And what else can I say about it? In a lot of these levels, like even a lot of the, like as long as it's not a side-scrolling level or a castle level, you can pretty much backtrack and try to pick up whatever red coins and whatnot. Not so much these levels. The 5th one being the only exception, but we'll get to that when we cross the bridge there. Yeah, be sure to search thoroughly. Try to find every single coin, every single flower. This is when we gotta bring one of these karate guys. It's probably not what they're called, but you know, Shy Guys have that latter part of the name every time, so we're just gonna call them karate guys. And the Hadouken wannabe attacks of theirs. Jump! That was a really easy flower. Who's gonna miss that? I mean, with those fake evil flowers coming at you. I'm pretty sure you could even jump on that pipe and hover to it. Okay, this level is generous enough to give us some coins here. And also they have zoomed in the screen a bit, so obviously you won't be able to see as much. It's just like most GBA ports of SNES games. I mean, they gotta make him as good looking as the SNES counterparts, so I do see why I do it, but it still kind of sucks you can't see as much. Like in Rayman Advance, although it's not a port of an SNES game, although that game was going to be for the SNES, stand corrected. In Rayman Advance, it's a port of the original Rayman. Like, the original game is a pretty hard game as it is, but Rayman Advance, it comes close to being impossible for me because you can't see anywhere near as much as the PlayStation or Saturn versions. It's often a problem in like the 8-bit to 32-bit handheld games, so you can't see as much. Guess that's the price for being able to play them on the go. Although Nintendo has often been really good with the ports, and this is no exception. Not really any negative things I have to say about it that were a problem in the original Yoshi's Island. And of course there wasn't much there. See, this game is pretty much a masterpiece. Some Mario games I have more enjoyment than this one, but there's just not much flaws to this game, but I'm just sounding like a broken record now. Be careful here. Do not take the pipe where those blocks are just yet. There's still quite a bit to collect. What's in there that's pretty much the end of the level, and you'll be missing quite a bit if you don't thoroughly look, as stated before. We shall make use of this key. That's where I'll need the thing. Checkpoint. This room is rather annoying. Those arrow objects haven't been used much. You know, you stand on them and they just continuously head that direction from when you stand on them, which way they're heading off to, until they hit a wall. And you gotta use up quite a bit of eggs there in this room to have them go at 80 degrees horizontal to vertical. That is how you do it. For this part, for the following room, you cannot waste time at all. You gotta run like hell. You like don't even have a second left to spare, just some milliseconds. Jump, don't hover. And yeah, editing time. Just so barely have enough time to get the last set of blocks after getting that flower, and you'll make it. I'm telling you, these levels do not play around at all. You gotta be incredibly careful with them. I remember when I was really excited for this version's Yoshi's Island, I was always looking forward to extra content from some of my favorite games. Well, naturally. But when I have finished this game 100%, like, had I been playing the SNES version, truth be told, after the first 2 levels, I kind of gave up on the secret levels. They were just too difficult for me, and it's come from someone that finished the SNES version 100% multiple times. These GBA ones, they really test your skills. I guess you could say this is like the Yoshi's Island Lost levels. They are pretty much on par with Super Mario Bros. 2 Lost levels, but obviously with puzzles. End of that quick minigame.